I've been asked to make some predictions about the UK election, so here we go. I'm going to give it a go. I can't promise I get it right, but I'll try to use my psychic gifts to see if I can get some insights. It'll be interesting to see how it works out. Now, when I sat down to tune in to see what I could pick up about this, I had the sense that we're going to get a number of, unfortunately, a few terrorist attacks prior to both the French and the British British UK elections. Now I'm making these predictions here on the, I'm looking at my computer date, 24th of the 4th 2017, a Monday. So anything that happens after this date, you know, is obviously relevant. Yes, I had a horrible feeling that there's going to be a number of attacks. These are not just my feeling was these are not just the usual sources, you know, ISIS and so forth, because I had a feeling that there's going to be a bit of a problem with right-wingers in Germany maybe doing something to try to disrupt things. You know, I'm getting the feeling we're not going to just get terrorist attacks from the ISIS, we're going to get extreme right-wing people causing problems too. And this is basically, I felt, German-based. Okay, but not happening in Germany, happening in France mainly. And I also had a sense that there's going to be some outrages again, I'm afraid, in the sort of Scandinavian areas. Stockholm came to mind, but I might be wrong with that. But I had a feeling there's going to be some more problems there. These are not going to be huge things. Well, they're horrible, all of them, but they're not going to be on the scale of Nice and things like that. But I think there's going to be, again, lone gunmen type of thing that might get caught reasonably quickly, I feel. But these things, again, you know, they're going to have an influence, and they're going to push the French electorate closer to the right. And although I don't, you know, I'm in two minds with Le Pen, you know, because I think she's going to come much closer to winning than we think. It's going to be absolutely neck and neck, and I think she could even get in. I know the polls at the moment say she, you know, it's unlikely. What's the other guys? I never always forget the other candidates' name. Oh, Macron, that's it. Yeah, they're saying that Macron can win through here, but I think it's going to be very close. I think he will win, but the French thing's going to be completely split. And this, of course, is going to have a bit of an influence on the British elections, because, you know, the whole Europe thing's obviously going to be one of the key issues with the UK elections. That's why the Conservatives want the mandate. You know, they need to put through the plans for Theresa May's plans for Europe to give her greater bargaining power. And although this is going to be sort of a major thrust, I think it's going to have other influences. You know, the European thing is going to be very high on the mind of the Scottish voters, for example. And I think the Tories are going to do very well indeed in Scotland. And Ruth Davidson is going to catch the Scottish people's imagination a bit more. They're getting sick and tired, I think, not all of them, but some of them are getting tired of the single policy ideas that's coming from Sturgeon about, you know, it's all about independence, and some of them are thinking, hey, hold on, it's not just about independence, you know. So my feeling is that the Scottish National Party will get 40 seats in Scotland, which is going to put them right on the borderline of being able to sort of push their agendas forward. And I think that's going to be quite an important part of the whole balance of the politics and the shock things that are going to be seen at the night of the general election results, you know, when they put all these things up and they have all the blues and reds and yellows and things on the board. So problems for the Scottish National Party. Similarly, I feel there's going to be a lot of confusion in Ireland. I think there's going to be kind of a call for a revote in Ireland, because it's going to be a chaotic result there. And my feeling is there's going to be, you know, they might even have to have a second vote in Ireland for something or other. I don't quite understand if that is even possible within a general election, but there's going to be a lot of confusion, I feel, for the electorate in Northern Ireland. The Liberals, I feel, are going to have a very bad day. They think they're going to, be able to pull in the pro-European vote. But although I think they'll gain a few more seats in some of their old traditional places like the West Country, my feeling is that they're gonna have a very hard time. People are going to be very much more black and white with what they're going to vote for, right? And I think it's the European calling is going to be behind a lot of this. But I think the general the feeling is that the Tories are going to pull from everybody. UKIP going to be punished as well. They won't get a seat. I think they'll probably be at a point now where UKIP is completely finished. That's my feeling. I think we're going to see in this election UKIP, the end of UKIP, finished. It will probably merge. The last few people will probably merge with a Tory party, possibly. And of course, the same for Labour. My feeling is, I think the Tories. The polls are saying Tories are going to win it across the board, and I'm afraid I agree that I think my feeling is the same thing's going to happen. Now we're going to get. There's going to be these European terrorist attacks. I think we might get something in England too, which will sort of swing people more away from being part of a Europe that seems to be pulling these people into the country. So there's the thought here also that I feel that Jeremy Corbyn is going to be seen as such a weak leader, but even more so, because at the same time we're going to have these frightening events happening in Europe. I believe that between now and the British general election, the North Korean crisis, and I've been predicting a lot about North Korea earlier in 2014 for 2017, you remember it if you follow my blogs and my videos. I've been saying this is coming, and I think now Trump is going to really, really push up the pressure on North Korea. And the whole talk of whether we need a nuclear deterrent is going to be very high up the agenda, probably higher up the agenda than you would in a normal election. And he's going to be seen as being very weak with that type of thing, non-committal. His party's behind it, he is dithering, and his dithering is going to make it harder and harder. I think in the Labour Party also, just as we're coming up to the election, we're going to get some shock resignations. It's as if I feel that some of the Labour people are almost going to scupple the election to make sure they get rid of Jeremy Corbyn. And immediately after the Labour defeat, because as you can see I'm predicting a Tory victory here, immediately after the Tory defeat, Corbyn will not resign, but he will be ousted. The problem is, I feel that the Labour Party after this election are going to be absolutely in more chaos than ever before in their history. In fact, I predict that there will be a new party that will not be called Labour. It may be called something like a similar thing. My feeling is it will be called something like Democrats or something like that, or a similar sort of name. And this will attract new people from the Labour Party. It might not have anything to do with the previous Labour Party. It might be a completely new independent party that drops the name Labour. And it will be run, I believe, by a young person, a new person coming, comparatively new person coming into politics. I see a young face there. He would be a person that would find the middle ground in politics, and his agenda would have a lot to do with the idea of kind of anti-big business, but not necessarily saying we're working class. He's going to cut into the ideas that we're dominated by big businesses, by a ruling elite, that it will be anti-monarchy in some respects, it will be anti-big business, it will be anti-global business like the Googles and Facebooks of this world. It will be like a party that's trying to find people's identity again. It's going to be talking to the common person. And I think this is going to be the way that a new party will dominate the agenda in years to come. It will emerge out of the Labour Party, and also some of the UK other parties such as the Liberals and from UKIP. So it's going to pick up the pieces, as it were, and I feel something new and something pretty powerful is going to come out of this. We will have an opposition, but it will be an unexpected opposition, right? So that's quite an odd prediction to be making, because there's no signs of this at all at the moment. But this is going to be part of the aftermath of a very, very strong Tory victory. We're going to see a lot happening. There's going to be a lot of shock resignations. Diane Abbott is going to also fall when Jeremy Corbyn falls. And just another thought that came to me is, I also saw another one of these scandals with Russia interfering. I think we're going to see something where there's going to be accusations about Russia interfering in both the French and the British elections by trying to influence people through Facebook. It won't be the fake news, but I just get there's something about, you know, computers going down just before the elections in both countries and accusations flying around. So unfortunately we do have kind of a bit of a difficult situation, I feel, with our politics at the moment. You know, there's too much extremism. I think everybody would feel that. There's a feeling that everything's shifting to the right, which, you know, might be needed in difficult times in some respects, but at the same time, without an opposition, you know, British politics is has a problematic way ahead. And I hate politics because it tends to be so cold in many ways. It's obviously power based, so people sort of follow what's in their best interest always. It's probably one of the most selfish acts we do, isn't it, really, politics? It's about what's best for me, when politics should be really is about what's best for all of us and how can we help the underdog. And I hope that I am right in that there is going to be a new form of politics emerging to counteract all this, a new party of some sort that might hold human values higher than economic values and so forth. And that if we have this, then I think maybe there is hope for the way ahead. So let's hope I'm right. And let's hope that out of this comes a more stable society and a more caring society as well. Jane and I now do our spiritual work for our foundation. All the profits that come from things like our conferences and theatres and workshops and all those exciting things now go into this foundation, which ultimately has the long-term plan of building centres in the UK and maybe around the world one day. But meanwhile, we've been doing a lot of direct spiritual work with it. We've been going out, feeding people in India, giving to the destitute, giving to beggars. We've helped feed schools, helped orphanages, and we've even given cows to older people that have no other form of income. So mediumship can change your life, but it can also help people directly in the world. So go to the links at the end and find out all about what Jane and I are trying to do. And you can do a lot just by sharing these videos on social media. Help us get the word out. Help us to do something really good in this world. Click on this picture of me to subscribe to our channel and see all of our latest videos as soon as they're published. Or click on this next video for more of our stuff.